Hey guys, welcome back to the second session of this Arduino lava meter project where we are going to finalize it. This has been an adventure, mostly because every time I started something, I needed to get something else. So for instance, at first I needed a temperature sensor, missing that. Then I was missing the jumper cables. Then I was missing the right tools, so I had to get tweezers and pliers. And finally, once it all came together, I needed time. And the last thing I needed was a magnifying glass, simply because, when you're working with the board, um, you will just need it. So highly suggest you get these tools before you attempt any projects. Of course, you don't need these tools for Tinkercad, but if you actually want to do it, you will need that. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with the finished product, which is right here. And I'm going to plug it in. Sorry, I was using the wrong thing. And as you can see, I did some modifications to the programming. So right now, what I have it do is the sensor is detecting the temperature and just giving me the information in Celsius, right? I'm going to turn it around so you guys can actually read it. And there we go. So let's see. That's it. Much easier. All right. So as you can see, that is sort of heating up, right? A little bit, little by little. All right. So this is the sensor right here. And as I touch it, you can see that the temperature is increasing slightly. Right? So, last time I had some issues with that not measuring the temperature really well. And so what I did was give it a little push, right? And I gave it a little push by uh, just heating this up. And then let's see. Did not do anything else, anything hotter right than that, right? Let's see. There we go. All right. So as you can see, the sensor is somewhat, not the most sensitive thing, but for our purposes, it will work. All right. So additionally, I originally had these little tools. So tweezers, right? Even these ones too, the ones that well, they do not work. So you have to get like really, really good ones, like this kind, right? And that allows you to actually really work with the jumper wires. But you also most likely will need a magnifying glass. I definitely need that. And lastly, if you really wanted to do something cool, then you can talk to the engineering club and maybe they will help you cut a piece of wood where the little screen will fit. Something like this. So really cool, right? Okay, so let's look at the programming on this and how do we make it do what we're making it do. Here's the code, and we're going to start at line 1, which is an include for the liquid crystal library. And we need this in order to use the LCD display. Then we're going to assign a pin to the sensor pin. This is the pin that uh, is connected to the temperature sensor and which brings that information into the Arduino. In this case, is A0. We also are defining a constant, which is a float, in other words, a decimal number, with a baseline temperature, in this case 20 degrees Celsius. Here we're going to initialize the library. Over here we include it. Here we initialize it, and we tell it which pins we are going to be using in order to display and read data. This is the void setup is the default function within the Arduino where you do setup, where this is where you set up stuff, and then this is the void loop is where you do stuff that you repeat. So we're gonna set up our LCD by calling the LCD begin function and telling it that we're gonna go into a pin, character 16, line 2. And where is that on the screen? I have no idea. There's are some instructions that you can look at on the Arduino website that tell you exactly how to operate the LCD. And I am too lazy to look at them right now, so we're just gonna wing it. But if you really need precision, then read the instructions. So the first thing we're gonna do is tell the LCD to print the words "it's gold," and that's on the first line. And this is just all commented out, so we are going to remove these things that are commented out because we don't need them. And we're gonna go to the main loop. So first of all, we are defining a variable as an integer, which is the sensor value, and it's an analog read of the sensor pin, which is something that we got here from A01, right? So then we are going to get the voltage, and the voltage is whatever the value is brought in by the sensor divided by 1024 multiplied by 5. That gives us the voltage. All right, so once we have that information, we talk to the LCD again, and again, line 0, row 2. And we are now transforming here on the float temperature, which is another variable. We are going to take the voltage and deduct half a degree or half a number and then multiply that by 100. And that gives us the temperature. So, and this is where our loop and our things start to happen, right? So if temperature is smaller than base lamp temperature, then clear the LCD and then print the words, how about some heat? If that condition is met, then if temperature is between 21 degrees or equal to 21 degrees and above 28 degrees, clear the LCD and print the numbers. If that is not the case either, then we are going to check if the temperature is between 28 degrees and 36.8. And if that's the case, we're going to print the words heating up. And if the temperature is above 36 or equal to 36.9, we are going to print the words call a doctor. And here we have a delay. And that's it. It's a super simple program that will allow you to basically turn the Arduino into, a thermometer, right? But in this case, is the lavometer or the COVID detector, right? A fever detector in this case. It's not a thermometer. Um, all right, let's continue. Here is the sensor working, and it is on the range where numbers are displayed with the temperature, right? So therefore, any of the other stuff that we wrote in there gets displaced. None of it gets displaced. So if I try to hold this, it kind of tells me a little bit. Now, if I remove the sensor completely, it says call a doctor because uh, there's too much voltage going to that sensor, which means that the temperature is higher than 36.9 degrees. But if I put it back, it's going to say heating up. And now all of a sudden it's at a range in which numbers display again because it's coming down, right? So the sensor works by detecting heat. The more heat, the less voltage it sends to the pin. And when there's no voltage, you are over the 36.9 range, right? And so therefore it would display something like sending the doctor. So that's how that sensor works. Not the other way around, which is what I said earlier, but it works by detecting heat and then sending a voltage that gets reduced the harder it is, right? You can make the sensors do all sorts of things, of course. I mean, this could literally temperature detection could, turn on a fan, or it could do other things like, with an actuator, you can maybe turn a valve, open up water, fill up a fountain, launch a helicopter. Who knows? It's sky's the limit, and that's the beauty of Arduino. All right, see you guys later.